The bell above the door chimed softly as Marcus Henderson stepped into Precision Arms, his worn leather jacket hanging loose on his thin frame. At 78 years old, he moved with the careful deliberation of someone who had learned to conserve his energy. The three young men behind the counter looked up, their conversation about the latest rifle models dying mid-sentence. "Help you, sir?" asked Jake, the store manager, his tone polite but slightly dismissive. He'd seen plenty of elderly customers who wandered in looking for protection they'd never need. But what this old man was about to do would shake everything these young men thought they knew about skill, purpose, and what it truly means to aim at something in life. If you've ever felt like you're hitting all the right targets but still feeling empty inside, stay with this story. It might just change how you see your own journey. Marcus approached the counter slowly, his weathered hands resting on the glass display case. "I'd like to use your range," he said quietly. "Been a while since I've held a firearm." Jake exchanged glances with his colleagues, Tyler and Chris. "Sure thing. Just need to see your license and sign the waiver." He slid the paperwork across the counter, already turning back to his conversation about barrel lengths and accuracy ratings. 20 minutes later, Marcus stood in lane 5, a borrowed 9mm in his hands. The young men had returned to their debate at the front desk, but Tyler happened to glance at the security monitor that showed the range. His eyes widened. "Guys," he said, his voice cutting through their discussion. "You need to see this." All three crowded around the small screen. Marcus wasn't just hitting the target. Every single round was finding the exact center, creating a single, widening hole in the bullseye. His hands were steady despite his age, his breathing controlled, his stance perfect. Shot after shot, unwavering precision. They walked to the range window, watching in person now. Marcus emptied the magazine, set the weapon down carefully, and pressed the button to retrieve his target. When he turned around, he found the three young men staring at him with a mixture of awe and confusion. "Sir," Jake said, his earlier dismissiveness completely gone. "That was incredible. Where did you learn to shoot like that?" Marcus smiled gently, a sadness flickering across his gray eyes. "Vietnam," he said simply. "But that's not what I came here to teach you today." The young men waited, sensing something profound in his words. "I heard you boys earlier," Marcus continued, talking about accuracy, about hitting targets, about being the best shot. He paused, looking down at his weathered hands. "I was the best shot in my platoon. I could hit anything from any distance. I was proud of that skill, so proud." His voice cracked slightly. "But I aimed at the wrong things. I followed orders without questioning them. I hit targets that were human beings, sons and fathers and brothers. And for 50 years, I've had to live with perfect aim pointed in the wrong direction." The room fell silent except for the hum of the ventilation system. And here's where Marcus said something that would echo in their minds for years to come. "Real aim," Marcus said, his voice stronger now, "isn't about hitting what's in front of you. It's about making sure you're pointed toward something worth reaching. It's about purpose, not just precision." He looked at each of them in turn. "You can be the best shot in the world, but if you're aiming at the wrong things in life, if you're chasing money instead of meaning, if you're hitting targets instead of building bridges, if you're focused on winning instead of helping, then all that skill is wasted." Marcus picked up his jacket from the bench. "I came here today because I've spent the last decade working with at-risk youth, teaching them that the power they have, whatever it is, matters less than what they choose to do with it. I wanted to remind myself that skills are just tools. It's the direction we point them that defines who we are." As he walked toward the exit, Jake called out, "Sir, wait. Would you come back? Maybe talk to some of our customers about safety, about responsibility." Marcus turned, and for the first time his smile reached his eyes. "I'd like that," he said. "I'd like that very much." The bell chimed as the door closed behind him, but his lesson remained, hanging in the air like gun smoke slowly clearing, revealing something true underneath. Sometimes we all need a reminder that being good at something isn't the same as being good. Maybe today is the day you check your aim. Look at where your skills and energy are pointed, and ask yourself if that's really where you want them to go. And if this story touched something in you, if it made you think about your own direction, share it with someone who might need to hear it too. Because the best way to aim at something meaningful is to help others find their target as well. Marcus learned that lesson the hard way. Maybe we don't have to.